Well, over the weekend, a lot of DC fans got pretty darn concerned. There was a bit of a rumor report about how the DCEU is getting a full-on reboot, and Zack Snyder's work would be erased. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about this report, what's probably going on, and the parts of the report that could be real and not so real. But before we dive into this report, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, the huge giveaway. We got a PlayStation 5 to give away at 25,000 subscribers. All you need to do to get in on our giveaway is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Also, while you're at it, make sure you check out that free Week of Skillshare down below. It's a spectacular way for you to develop all of your superhero skills for that never-ending war on crime, all while not diving too deep into your pocket. Also, it really does help the channel, so we really appreciate it. Well, the team over at DC Films has a ton of really great stuff coming our way. In the next year, we're getting The Flash, Batman, and Black Adam, as well as several animated movies and some HBO Max direct features like Batgirl. But over the weekend, there was a bit of a report that seemed to indicate Warner Bros. Was about to make a seismic shift when it came to their DCEU continuity. Now again, when this doesn't come directly from Warner Bros., you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But to be quite honest, Warner Bros. Doesn't really give us a lot of ideas of what's going on behind the scenes, so this always leads to a ton of speculation. Now, the initial report came from Grace Randolph, and if you're familiar with her online, there have been rumors that she's reported on. Some she's been sort of right, some she's been sort of wrong, some she's been very right, and some she's been very wrong. So we're not going to dig into any sort of track record there. We're just going to focus on the report, and I'll let you develop your own opinion based on her work for yourself. Now, in our update, what she says is that there's going to be major changes to the DCEU, and that The Flash will be Batfleck's final appearance in this franchise, and that they're actually going to use old footage of Cavill instead of shooting new stuff. Now, this will lead to the forming of a new Justice League, which should make fans pretty happy, but it will be with changes. First and foremost, the new Sasha Calle Supergirl will replace Henry Cavill's Superman, which for a lot of people I know is an absolute no-go. We also have heard from multiple sources over the last couple of weeks that Michael Keaton will be playing a mentor role to Batgirl, and in addition to that, apparently he's going to be working with the Black Canary. Now, this led fans to talking about how the SnyderVerse was being erased, and we actually had a bit of a statement from one of the actors themselves, Ezra Miller, who plays the Flash, about what's going on. And what he said made a lot of sense to me, but we have to keep it in the right context. Now, this came from an instant message between him and another fan, so it's not really a public posting, but it does give you an idea of where his head is. What he says is, no power or force in any known megaverse could ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You can take that quote. Take that to the bank, to the press, to the schools, to the military, and the other pillar of capitalism. Now, this doesn't really surprise me to hear from Ezra Miller, and I don't think he's really wrong, but I don't think it's also reflective of the future of the DCEU. Let's be really clear, nobody's erasing Zack Snyder's work. That's literally impossible, and I don't even think that's the intent. If DC or Warner Bros. Wanted to do that, they wouldn't have continued the SnyderVerse and allowed him to complete that project. But I do think that particular storyline inside the DC universe is going to see some changes. But that's the key, universes, because DC has a ton of them. First and foremost, we have the Arrowverse, which is by far the longest connected superhero continuity on screen in history. When you look at the number of episodes and the number of stories, there really is nothing like it. And it continues to expand with new shows, and that clearly is not going anywhere. We also are about to start a new Batman universe, or at least a Batman sub-universe. It's pretty unclear where this fits into the larger scale, and we do know we've seen Halloween costumes at some Gotham event that indicates other DC heroes might live in this universe, but it is not going to be connected to the current DCEU as we know it. And then, all the spin-offs, Titans and Doom Patrol over on HBO, the Green Lantern series, and that Harley Quinn animated series all sit on their own Earths, so none of this is connected to the DCEU. I think the primary thing that is being changed though is the storyline that is going to be associated with the primary cinematic universe. Snyder kicked it all off with Man of Steel, and into Batman vs. Superman, and every project that's come after that, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, and Suicide Squad, heck, even Peacemaker, are technically all set in this universe. And I do think they are going to use some Flashpoint time travel shenanigans to make some alterations there. This doesn't erase Zack's work. The fans and viewers won't forget. It'll just alter what's going on screen, and it probably is helping them put the pieces in place that they have decided to move forward with. Now, I know, quite honestly, this probably won't make a lot of fans very happy. Zack Snyder's work is beloved by many, and there is a contingent of fans that are absolutely militant about continuing that storyline. As much as I enjoyed the Snyder version of Justice League on HBO Max, I still find that highly unlikely. With the number of projects DC has in the works right now, some of these characters may return, but I don't actually think it's going to be thought of as the SnyderVerse after this event, but it will effectively be the universe that he gave birth to, now just altered by some time travel. For fans of the comics, this should feel pretty familiar, but quite honestly, I think a lot of people are probably not going to be too happy. Now, all in all, we're going to have to wait to see what happens with the DC Films universe. We have a lot of stuff over the next 18 months, and I think once all of these projects come out, we see who cameos in whose movies. Remember, Wonder Woman is supposed to appear in the new Shazam flick, and maybe even in The Flash. We'll probably know exactly what's going on, and it'll give us a clearer path moving forward. I don't think DC Films or DC film content is going anywhere, so we should probably wait and see, and also see what the quality level on this turns out to be. Quite honestly, even bad plans, executed well, sometimes find a way of endearing themselves with fans, so maybe that's what we're going to see here. In any case, once we get some more news about the DCEU, any changes it might be seeing, or anything on any of Zack Snyder's work being restored, we're going to bring it to you right away. But I gotta know what you guys think. Are you okay with Warner Brothers making some major timeline changes to the DCEU in The Flash? And if not, will you participate and watch any of these films when they're released? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not going to get any updates. Peace.